Hello students, welcome back after the short break. As all of you know that we are dealing with CS07 data structure using programming in C, and in the last lecture we have discussed about a very important concept in unit number 3, that is circular queue. Now it's time to go ahead by discussing the last concept of unit number 3, that is DQ, pronounced as a double-ended queue. By taking the reference of unit number 3, we'll move on with the discussion of double-ended queue. In unit number 3, it consists of two subsections. One is introduction to data structure and second is elementary data structure, where introduction to data structure demonstrates the basic theory of primitive and non-primitive data structure. If you are not forgetting, then we have discussed the theory of various types of data structure by classifying into the two categories and explain each and every category theoretically. Apart from all this, next one is elementary data structure. Into the elementary data structure, it consists of three things, that is stack, queue and circular queue with double-ended queue, where stack is last in first out, queue is first in first out, where queue internally divided into the two parts, that is a simple queue, a circular queue and the double-ended queue. By taking a simple example of stack, suppose we are arranging the books in a one bunch, where the first book which we put is going to be removed last. If you tries to remove the first book after putting the 10 different book, the entire stack will be fall down. So this is one of the disadvantage of using stack. That disadvantages came as an advantage into the queue, where the first person who stand into the queue of collecting the ticket will get the first ticket, and the last person who stands in the queue will get the last ticket. So that is the example of a simple queue. Same structure is arranged into the circular type, where the last element reference to the first element, that is called as circular queue. So this was all about the last topic that we have discussed, and all this topic we have implemented practically also. So this is just a basic idea that what we have done in unit number 3 into the previous lectures. So now let's start without wasting more time the double-ended queue and their concept. Once we finish with double-ended queue, unit number 3 as per the prescribed syllabus of Saurashtra University gets completed. So let's start with the double-ended queue. So the first question which comes in our mind is that what is DQ? Here D means double and Q itself makes double-ended queue. So pronounce DQ as a double-ended queue. So what does it means? What it provides a functionality, what type of functionality it provides, and we can say that what we'll get into the double-ended queue. So the theory of double-ended queue is simple. Double-ended queue is a queue which enables the insertion and deletion of elements in again I'm repeating my words. Double-ended queue provides insertion and deletion of element over both the side. Now both the side means, say for example, this is my queue where the first number is 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, and then the last one that is called as 7. So into the double ended queue, insert in simple queue, insertion will done after the execution of first value. That means whenever I start adding an element into the queue, first is 2, then and then 3, then and then 4, then and then 0, then and then 1, then and then suppose 10 is the last one. Now whenever the execution gets started, first the element is going to be executed is 2, then 3, then 4, then 10, then 1, and then the last one is 10. This is all about the simple queue. But what happens into the double-ended queue? Into the double-ended queue, we can insert any elements before the first element. Parallelly, we can add the new element at the last position. And even deletion can be possible from last position as well as it can be deleted from the first position. So a very simple theory is over here. Double-ended queue is a queue which provides the facility of inserting any element at the first position, even at the last position. Even it provides the deletion of elements from the first position, even from the last position. Say for example, now again I am performing the insertion and deletion operation over here, then which value can be removed? As a last we can remove 10, and as a first we can remove 2. Then as a last we can remove 1, and as a first we can remove 3. As a last we can remove 0, and as a first we can remove 4. Ultimately, whenever the rear and front both became 0, we can say that double-ended queue is empty. So this is all the theory which is related with double-ended queue. Now we know that into the double-ended queue, for inserting the elements, the component where work that is called as front. Front is for adding the value, and for deleting the value, element which works, that is called as rear, which is similar like that we have discussed into the stack as well as into the queue. So this was all actually the part of theoretical section which is related with double-ended queue. Algorithm for double-ended queue is very simple. We can see this algorithm in this way. This was all about the theoretical portion of double-ended queue. As I have demonstrated, this is a simple diagram of double-ended queue where insertion and deletion is possible on the first element. Even the insertion and deletion is possible on the last portion. That's why the name is given called double-ended queue. Now, as mentioned into the theories, the two components which work is front and rear. Now, suppose we want to go for the logical instruction set of insertion and deletion of double-ended queue, then we can go in this way. There is a one creation of the function called double-ended queue insert, where we have to pass the element, then we have to initialize front and rear, whatever the first value is considered to be the item. During this insertion, if front founds as a 0, then queue is full. See, double-ended queue is also dependent onto the number of size which is provided as a array size. Say for example, just look at to this 10. What does it means? Maximum we can add 10 elements in this double-ended queue, as we have used the concept of one-dimensional array. So, if this condition is false, that means array element is empty. That means array size is empty for accepting the any new element. Just by decreasing the front by 1 and adding a new item on that particular location inserts the new element over the double-ended queue. Same like that, we can delete the element from double-ended queue. For deleting the element from double-ended queue, we can use the logical instruction set in this way. This is the logical insertion set for deleting the values, where everything remains same. Just compare these two lines. There is a difference of name over here first. This is insert and this one is delete. And one more difference is over here, where if the condition where front and rear becomes both the same, then it returns that queue is empty. That means if we start deleting the elements from left hand side as well as from the right hand side, at one moment we found that every elements get deleted and the entire queue becomes null. So this condition satisfies the same. But if this condition is false, then by incrementing the front value by 1, we can delete the item from the stored array. So no doubt, don't get confused over here. Here I have used only the single component which is called as front, but we can use front as well as rear also. Suppose we kept front for adding the value, then we can kept rear for deleting the value. And if we want to keep only the front as a single component, then by decreasing it by 1, it inserts the value, and increasing it by 1, it deletes the value. Now let's see the programmatical section of double-ended queue for better clearing the doubt related to the double-ended queue. So let me execute the program which I have written for double-ended queue. This is the sample code which I have written for double-ended queue. No doubt this code is little bit complex to understand. Even in as far as the Saurashtra University examination is concerned, this type of complicated code are lessly asked, but still we have to keep in our mind as it is a part of our syllabus. So let's check whether there is any syntactical error or not. got the error. Here there is a invalid character called C. Let's save it and let's check. Okay, as you can see that there are no syntactical error. Let's execute the code. Whenever we execute the code, there is a one menu onto the screen. That means I have used a switch statement for making this program proper. Option number 1 is for inserting a new element on left hand side. For displaying whatever the value inserted on left hand side, there is an option number 2. For deleting the value from left hand side, there is an option number 3. For inserting the value on right hand side, there is an option number 4. Displaying the same is option number 5, and for deleting the value from right hand side, there is an option number 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, this 6 operation makes the complete double ended queue. Again I am repeating my words. Option number 1 will add the new element on left hand side. Option number 2 displays whatever the left hand sided value is inserted. Option number 3 deletes the value from left hand side. Option number 4 inserts the new value on right hand side. Option number 5 displays the value which is on which is inserted on right hand side, and option number 6 delete whatever the value is inserted on right hand side, and option number 7 is for terminating the program. So as all of you know that I have executed this particular program for the first time, so I have to insert the value. So I am selecting option number 1. So whenever I select option number 1, it asks for the value which I want to insert. Suppose I am inserting 8. Sorry for the interruption. Let me check the code whether it is correct or not. It's correct. It's wrong. Okay, leave it. Let's take another example. Okay, sorry for the interruption. This program is working properly. uh, Whenever we execute the code, we found the two options, that is 1 and 2. Over here we have to go for option number 2. In option number 2 we'll got total 5 another option, that is insert at rear, insert at front, delete from front, display and exit. So whenever I select option number 1, it asks for the value. Suppose I am entering 8, then 8 is inserted on left hand side. Suppose I display it, it displays 8 onto the screen. Again, suppose I am selecting option number 2, which is called as insert at front, and suppose I am inserting the value called 0, and again I am displaying the same value, then it displays 0 and 8. Now suppose I select option number 3, then it deletes the value from the front end side, and the remaining value which remains into the queue is 8, because 9 is inserted on right hand side. Suppose again I am trying to delete the value from front end side, then what happen? Suppose I have selected option number 3, and then again I am displaying option number 4, which is called display. It shows the message onto the screen that queue is empty. So in this way double-ended queue will work. Now let's see this particular code into the notepad for better visibility, because in recorded screen, as far as the turbo C is concerned, the visibility is not proper. So let me open the same thing over the notepad. So this is the code. After initializing the necessary library function and declared size as a 5, 3 variables I have declared, where first is the array, where size is automatically 5. Then I have set front and rear as a -1, because whenever we are adding the first value, it is going to be set as a +1. Then there are various operations like insert rear, insert front, delete front, delete rear, and display queue. All these are the created function. For displaying the menu onto the screen, there is an option called insert at rear, delete from front, delete from rear, and display. 5 for exit, and for entering the various choice, there is an option number. For inserting the choice, there is an scanf statement which accept the choice. As per the case selection, a particular function is called. Say for example, will not go for every function right now. Suppose insert at rear is called. There is a local variable declaration called add item, and there is a one condition, a one decision making statement which checks that whether the queue is ready to accept the values or not. If this condition is true, then queue is overflow. That means the total size of queue is exceeded. Another condition, even it will check whether the value of front and rear is set as a 0 or not. That means if front is -1, then initially it set front and rear as a 0, because whatever the value which we are going to enter is a first value. And for the first value, this condition becomes false, this condition becomes true, and rear is incremented by 1. That means the first value is added into the double-ended queue, and from next value, this condition and this condition becomes false. Only this else part will increase, will execute and add the remaining part of double-ended queue and their elements. I think this was sufficient for today's discussion, as after such a long time we are meeting over the virtual platform. Some portion of the data structure might not work properly because it needs consistent maintenance and implementation into the program. So forget it, no problem. I hope today's lecture clear at least just a theoretical portion of double-ended queue. again, before concluding the lecture, I would like to repeat the theoretical portion of double-ended queue. DQ means double-ended queue, where it provides the facility of adding the new values from left hand side as well as from right hand side. Even it provides the deletion of value from left hand side as well as from right hand side. This particular concept is little bit complicated to develop. So as far as the university examination is concerned, this type of complicated programs may not be asked, but still we have to keep all this thing in our mind. So this was all about, actually, even this is called as priority queue also. So this was all about the discussion of unit number 3. In our next lecture, we are going to start with the discussion of unit number 4, which is very very important, called as a linked list. In linked list, we have to discuss about a single linked list and double linked list with circular linked list. So there are 3 options: single linked list, double linked list and circular linked list. This is very important. So in next lecture, we are going to start with the discussion of linked list. Till that, thank you very much students for listening me, and have a nice day.